Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill. Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFL TV and association.
KUGAN CASSIUS back in the place, looking well.
Not really.
Did you eat a lot in Mauritius?
Yeah.
When I met you years ago, like the holidays you've been on over the summer, let's just break it down for the travel gurus amongst your IFL membership. Mauritius, Marbella, South Africa.
That was a couple of months ago.
Oh, sorry. Anywhere else? I'm sure there's somewhere else as well.
We'll break down your holidays then.
Go on then. Mallorca.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, you went somewhere else, didn't you? You did. You was in America.
That was on business.
Oh yeah, that old one. We're in Sheffield.
You're looking well though. Was it all inclusive?
No, I'm glad it weren't. All inclusive ain't all inclusive.
I didn't mean it like that. I just meant because you've obviously put on a few pounds.
Don't make me pound down, bro.
Listen, I'm on a massive crash course diet to get in my whistle for the Brook fight.
Tom Sweeney. We're in Sheffield here today for a media lunch with Kel Brook, ahead of next week's...
The special one.
The special one. I think you spoke to James last week at the Crolla Linares press conference. It seems a lot has happened since then. First thing I wanted to really talk to you about before we get on to Kel Brook is this whole Dylan White and Sam Sexton situation. Can you just clarify from your end?
Yeah, you know, we wanted to make the Dave Allen fight for the British title. They turned that down. So Dylan is the mandatory for the British title. And the plan is for Dylan to fight Derek Chisora. But in the meantime, have a fight on October the 8th in Glasgow. So we spoke to Sam Sexton's team about the fight. They told us how much money they want. We said fine. Then we went back to them and said we'd like to do it on October the 8th. Then the trainer came back and said, look, that's the same night as Liam Walsh fighting in the final eliminator. So we're going to have to see how we're going to work it, if he'll let someone else go in a corner, etc, etc. So I said to him, look, there's a chance we might move it to October the 7th. And obviously with that fight clashing, we decided anyway to go October the 7th. And then went back and said, good news, it's Kel. Yo. Yeah, we're here, we're waiting for you. Waiting for the special one. It's a media lunch. It's just come and meet all the national writers. Sky Sports News are here. Just to tell them how you're going to go and shock the world and become the #1 pound for pound fighter in world boxing. There's no rush. What have you got to do? Okay, do that then, yeah, but be reasonably quick. I mean, he starts at 1, so... Okay. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, mate, bye.
Right.
Slight delay to the media lunch. Kel's just having a shower.
Oh right, so he wasn't.
He's got to go and have a shower.
He wasn't ringing to ask why you sent a tweet out for him.
No, oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I can't believe that. What, you know. Anyway, back to the Sam Sexton thing.
Go
on. So we said October 7th. Good news. They went, oh, logistically it's still difficult with the training, etc. I said, look, we'll fly you after the weigh-in, Liam Walsh weigh-in, up to Scotland. Sam's not boxing until 9 o'clock. I'm like, okay, we'll let you know tomorrow. Come back the next day and said, oh, Sam's got a hand injury. It's like, you could have told us that 4 or 5 days ago. So very frustrating. And then Dillian White decided to do his own thing on social media and does what he does, very entertaining, gets everybody talking, and now we're stuck looking for another opponent for Dillian White, which is a shame because I think him against Sam Sexton for the British title in Glasgow would have been good fun. But
so what is the current situation with the British title?
it's Dillian against someone. no one's been mandated to fight him, and it will now be Dillian, hopefully against Derek Chisora, the British title.
But that'll come after, obviously.
Yeah, after October the 7th. Dillian will fight on October the
The
7th.
possible opponents for Dillian.
Tarver, Thompson. He quite like the Molina fight. It's quite good. Dillian really will fight anyone. You know. So Terry, man. Tez, you alright, mate? I just spoke to Kel. Yeah, he's gonna go and grab a quick shower, so he's gonna be a bit late. Yeah, it'll be alright, yeah, it'll be alright. Everyone's coming up from London, yeah, I know. But what we'll do is we'll eat at 1 o'clock, and then time he gets here, they can interview. All right, I'll see you in a minute. All right, mate. Bye. Sorry, old boy.
That's all right.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Okay. Reading people's tweets, comments, no one seems to be really giving Kel a chance in this fight.
That's all right. We're very confident. I mean, listen, we know the fight is the toughest fight in world boxing. So, but I see from Kel, it's difficult for me to put into words what you see and how you speak to people, and this is a moment he's been waiting for a long time to prove how good he is. Like I say, it's not Vargas, you know, it's not Errol Spence, it's Gennady Golovkin at middleweight. But I'm so excited to see what Kell Brook can do, not depleted and not having to crash the weight to make it, you know? Can he win the fight? 100% he can win this fight. He has to execute the perfect game plan, and everything has to come together on the night to win this fight. I'm interested to see how does Gennady, how does he cope with the experience? Might not phase him one bit. New changing rooms, new commission, new crowd, different kind of atmosphere. Never boxed in an atmosphere like this before. So, like I said, might not mean a row of beans, but let's see. And Kell's not going to go out with any fear. He's not going to be waiting to be knocked out. He's going to go and try and win the fight. He's got a game plan to win the fight. And I've, for a long time, believed that this kid is very, very special. And when you're special, you can do things that are unexpected. You can beat the odds. So, you know, the level of talk for this fight in terms of from the fans, the unanswered questions, how can Brook get on up at middleweight? Is Golovkin the fighter that everyone says he is? You know, it's just so many questions to be answered, and that's why it's a huge fight. That's why it's going to do massive numbers on box office. That's why it's sold out in 10 minutes at the O2. Every now and again a fight comes around like this, where it's gripping. It is gripping. And I can't wait. I'm so excited for Kell Brook. You know, and I know what he's going to have to go through to win this fight. He's going to get hit, and we all know how Golovkin hits. But one thing I'll say to people is the weight is obviously a disadvantage, but nowhere near the levels that some people think it is. And only the people that know Kell will understand that. So when you're making your decision about who's going to win the fight, don't think too much on the weight. Just think on the skill. Imagine it's a level playing field and these guys are fighting. I know the majority of people are still going to back Golovkin, but this is by far and away the toughest test of Golovkin's career so far, by a long way, trust me. And that's everything combined. That's the fighter, that's the atmosphere, that's the environment, the arena, everything. And I'm just noticing a few things in their team at the moment where there's certainly not panic, but I'm not saying they're concerned, but they know what they've got here. They've got to come to another guy's backyard and defend their world title against a very, very good fighter.
You say don't think about the weight, but
it's a disadvantage.
I'm just going to say when Khan fought Canelo, you were one of the most vocal people about.
You talk about completely different people, completely different weights. The only similarity in this fight between Khan and Canelo and Brook and Golovkin is those two people are the exact two people that are running scared of the other two. Right? Amir Khan, he don't want to fight Kell Brook. And that's the bottom line. Canelo, well, that's the biggest swerve, I think, for a long time, isn't it? I mean, is that a swerve? You won't say Khan's swerving Brook, and listen, if you don't think he is, then, you know, is Canelo swerving Golovkin? Don't bitch out and say, we had this conversation on the train. I know you're going to the fight. Well, you worried about your media accreditation getting taken away. Where's your balls? Put them on the line. Canelo's ducking Golovkin. Come on. It's a massive fight. Massive.
It did seem very strange, Eddie.
Listen.
Well, just after how vocal Canelo was after the Khan win to what happened a couple of weeks later, within that sort of 2 week gap of vacating the title. And
exactly. So, Canelo is ducking Golovkin and Khan is ducking Brook. Bottom line. Right? Have your opinion on what I'm saying. I couldn't give a monkey's. I'm telling you, in my opinion, which as far as I'm concerned, in this little diameter here, that's all that matters. That's the truth. So when you see Kell Brook on the scales, just take your pictures and then take your picture of Amir Khan on the scales against Canelo. This is a guy coming up from lightweight. Kell Brook has been a welterweight from the start of his career for what, 10 years? Now you're going to see him. You'll see him today. Trust me when I say this is a new animal. The problem is, it's Gennady Golovkin. I'm so excited for this fight. I'm so excited for this fight.
we saw Errol Spence a little while ago completely destroy
41-year-old Leonard Budley. Yeah.
Okay, beat Leonard Bundu quite emphatically.
Listen, Errol Spence is a fantastic fighter. Fantastic fighter. And your next question is will we fight Errol Spence next? And the answer is, I have no idea. That's the truth. So everything focuses on September 10th. We beat Gennady Golovkin, Kell Brook becomes the #1 pound for pound fighter in world boxing. So who we fight then, to be honest with you, it's completely up to Kell Brook. He can fight any fighter in the world he wants. Right? On the other side, if he was to lose to Golovkin, what does he do? And I have to look at all kinds of outcomes from the fight. If we go back down to welterweight to defend the world title, it's 75-25 for Kell Brook. It's a nice split. You know, I think could be some big money in that fight. Does he move to 154? Does he fight EUBANK? Does it? I mean, there's so many. There's many reasons for taking this fight. The first one is always to win. And then there's all kinds of other things. The profile, the money. And a fight of this magnitude opens up so many doors for other super fights. Do you know what I mean? So the only thing for a competitor to do is to win. That's all Kell Brook has to do. And I tell him, you win this fight, you become the hottest thing in world boxing. He says, I'm going to win this fight. I said, I know you can do it, son. Go and do it. You know what is ahead of you. And the focus on Kell Brook for this fight is frightening. Frightening. He's smiling. He's so excited to show what he can do. So excited to be in a fight of this magnitude. This is it. This is it for Kell Brook. This is the moment we've been waiting for. This is the moment this young kid from Sheffield, who people are talking about for years and years, this kid's a special fighter. Now let's see it. And that's the great thing about boxing. It's the same for Charlie Edwards against Casimiro. This is your moment, son. Let's see it. And the special ones can pull it off. You know? The ones that aren't quite good enough, the ones that, you know, they might not. But the special ones produce something at the right time, the crunch time, the moment that can change your life forever. Can you do it? Doesn't matter what sport it is. It could be the Olympics. You know, the special athletes can produce that performance when it matters most. That's what Kell Brook's going to have to do. That's what Charlie Edwards is going to have to do. That's what Stuart Hall's going to have to do. That's what Nathan Cleverley's going to have to do. That's the beauty of sport and boxing. It's big balls time. It's big balls time. It's get in that ring, show no fear, and beat the most dangerous fighter in the planet. Do what you have to do. Outbox him, knock him out, trade with him, dance with him, counterpunch him, jab his head off, whatever you have to do to win. And I don't know how you're going to do it, son, but you're going to have to find a way.
The card is now complete.
Well,
you've
yeah,
added.
I mean, this is actually, we're having this conversation at 1 o'clock, and we'll probably put a press release out at 4 or 5 o'clock to add Callum Smith, Paul Smith, Kid Galahad, Gavin McDonald to the card. So, yes, we are now complete. Callum Smith will defend his WBC silver title. Paul Smith, Gavin McDonald, Kid Galahad, Craig Richards, Conor Benn, Martin Ward against Andy Townend for the British Super Featherweight vacant title, which is, as we discussed earlier as well, a cracking fight. Charlie Edwards against two-weight world champion Casimiro for the IBF world title. Stuart Hall against Lee Haskins, domestic matchup for the IBF bantamweight title, and then the big one. We are set September the 10th. It's the biggest night of boxing in 2016.
Obviously, the noble name in that four you just mentioned that you've added is Kid Galahad. Are you doing something or working with Kid Galahad
now?
now?
That was Kel Brook asked me for a favour to put him on the card. When Kel got the injury against Chavez, he was at rock bottom, to be honest with you, and Kid Galahad got him in the gym, and he really turned him round. So he asked for a favour to put him on the card, and as Kel's involved with the show, he'll box on the card.
A lot of speculation about what you're going to do with Anthony Joshua. Suddenly come out with it the other day that a high possibility that it will be in Manchester on the 26th of November.
But yeah, I mean, while you were sunning yourself in Mauritius, John Inverdale announced in front of millions on the BBC that Anthony Joshua would box on November the 26th. And that is one of the dates that, well, it's probably the favourite date at the moment that we're looking at. It could be a week either side. Yeah, I mean, at the moment we've got this mix where, I've said for a long time, it could come between the three of Parker, Pulev and Stiverne. And I still think that those three are the likely candidates. A few things going on, like Parker's team, who are good guys actually, good people, they understand exactly where everyone's at. They're sort of saying, could we box on the undercard if it's not us? And I think they'd quite like as many fights as possible before fighting Joshua. And how about we fight David Price? Well, that would be a final eliminator, because it would have to be, because Parker is number one. And people said, why has Parker got to earn his shot? He hasn't. He can not box and wait till he fights AJ, but he doesn't want to. He wants to box on the card.
Is he still fighting Dimitrenko?
Yeah, on October the 1st.
Yeah.
So, and Price is obviously calling out a shot against AJ. Again, I said the other day, I feel it's not that he's got to earn his shot. When I go into a boardroom with my broadcasters and say, right, these are the guys, at the moment when I say David Price, it's not getting it. He hasn't got the wins off the back of the Tepper defeat, where he can turn around and say, I'm credible, I'm ready. I think it can be a good fight, but he needs that win where I can really sell it to make it a huge fight. And obviously, if he beat Parker, then that would give him the credibility, and even better for his career, that would give him the mandatory spot for Anthony Joshua, which would make him a lot of money. Bit of pie in the sky at the moment, I'm just throwing it around. The other mad idea I had was, why don't we do, I can't believe I'm even telling you this, because
you told me earlier on.
What about AJ against Pulev or Stiverne, Price against Parker, and Chisora against White, a heavyweight grand slam? What about that in one night? What about doing it at Millennium Stadium? Something like that. I don't know, just throwing it out there. Hit me back. Let me know what you think.
Millennium Stadium?
Yeah, with the roof closed, obviously. It's the only way you can do it outside in November. I don't know. Just like... Because I was thinking about doing Chisora against... I feel like this is kind of like a counselling session for my matchmaking problems.
Yeah.
Chisora
White, yeah.
On its own in London. But obviously if we do those three big heavyweight fights, it's a great card.
Likely chance of that though?
Don't rule it out, son. Don't rule it out. But again, like, I'm speaking to Kalla about Pulev. He don't really seem interested to fight AJ. You know, Stiverne might fight Povetkin, so maybe we just fight Parker. Don't know.
So who's the front runner at the moment?
To be honest with you, I couldn't really tell you. I mean, Stiverne might fight Povetkin. I quite like the Pulev fight. I think it's a good test for AJ. I like the Parker fight too. But I think the Parker fight could really be built into a big fight. Now, if he comes out over here and knocks Price out, sensationally, that makes the AJ fight even bigger. If Price knocks Parker out, that makes Price against Joshua massive. You know? The plan really for us is to go November the 26th or 19th or December 3rd, either way. March the 4th at the O2. And then in the summer, the big one.
What, at the O2?
That's when we're looking at AJ's fight after November. March the 4th at the O2.
March 4th.
That's what's booked out. So, and then the big summer one, Fury, Hay, Wilder, whatever.
So, Joshua not necessarily confirmed for fighting in Manchester then?
Nothing's confirmed.
Right.
When it's confirmed, we'll confirm it, and you'll see a press release. So anyone who's saying that hotels, don't book anything yet till you get the nod. Right? 26th is the favourite date at the moment. Things can change. Now I've had this quirky idea. How many does that sell at the Millennium Stadium?
Have you got no option in the south for that? If you wanted to do something like that?
Nothing available at the O2.
Do it.
Okay, mate, yeah, I'll do it. Will you underwrite that for me? Will you guarantee me the 60,000 gate on that one, please?
60,000 is miles.
I'm not really bothered about the fact that it's in Wales. I just think, because it's relatively easy to get to, I just think it's a massive event. And every time we go on sale at the O2, it sells out in 10 minutes. And that's 16,000, 17,000. You know, when you look at like Quig Frampton, again, sold out in the same kind of time, 20,000 at the MEN. How many could we have done? 30? 40? How many could we have done for Brooke Golovkin? 40? 50? That's Dillian White.
Is it?
Yeah. I have to get it, otherwise he'll cry. Dillian, I'm just doing it. I'm in the middle of an IFL interview talking about Lamb Sexton and all kinds of other things. I'm actually in the middle of it. Why? Well, there might be a way around that. Okay, Dillian says to go fuck yourself, just to let you know. Okay, all right, mate, thanks for that, Dillian. Lovely to talk to you, mate, as always. All right, cheers. It's like, I just went to him, thanks for that, Dillian. Lovely to talk to you for as well. All right, bye. He says, I found out why Sexton can't take the fight, and I'm going to expose him. I don't know, it's
I better get James round there then.
hold on, let me just... Okay, yeah. So, what about Charlie Edwards and John Riel Casimero? I see a video of Casimero training. Have you seen it?
No.
Went half look good. This is a fascinating little...
I was with Charlie Edwards a couple of weeks ago.
Do you know what I like? I like fighters. It's very easy to be a brave promoter or a brave matchmaker and just make these fights. Like, you're talking about people's careers and everybody's got to be on board, like the teams. But it does piss me off a little bit when people turn down fights they should really be accepting.
Like who?
It's not a dig at anyone, no, but it happens a lot. And you just, sometimes I think, how can you not take that fight? What are you doing? What else is on the table for you? This isn't about Charlie Edwards. This is, and it's not even necessarily about our fighters. But some people are so mismanaged that they turn down fights and you just think, how? Like, who is in charge of your career? They should be strung up. And,
You've obviously got someone in
I haven't,
mind.
no, I haven't. I mean, there's loads of situations where people should take fights that don't. You can't always wait for the perfect moment. You've got to take the moment and make it perfect. Add that to my David Brent show reel now.
This film's out, actually. I need to get to see it. Just sit tight. Don't move. Just don't move. Did you watch the UFC?
No.
Is
I
that
watched
'cause-
some highlights on social media the next day. Looked epic. I love what the UFC are doing.
Their
In fact,
press
I try
conferences
and
are-
copy their ideas where I can.
They are like the Brentwood Dana White.
The Brentwood Dana White. Could I have had the UK Dana White? Or even, could you have expanded that to the county?
Stop.
The Essex Dana
Stop
White?
Dana
Yeah,
White.
the Mill Lane Dana White?
But can I ask you a question, right? Do you know when you see these fighters, boxers, being linked to quite notably Conor McGregor, what goes through your head?
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I mean, one, it's never going to happen. Two, like, Conor McGregor is not a boxer. He would get beaten by virtually every 154 pounder. He would get beaten by every 154 pounder in the top 10 of the British rankings, let alone of the world rankings. But of course, listen, it's all for hype, isn't it? And it's, it gets everyone talking. I've not really been bitten by the UFC bug. I'm kind of bitten by it from an event point of view, not as a sport yet. Although I think, and I might be wrong, because don't watch too much of it, but it seems to me like they seem to be on their feet more, fighting rather than grappling. And I'm not really interested in the grappling bit. And it seems to have evolved a little bit over the years, where there seems to be more standing and fighting rather than on the floor rolling around wrestling, which I think is better for the wider audience. Maybe I'm wrong, but like any sport, you need a character, a personality, an icon to explode it, and that's what Conor McGregor's done. I mean, what did the UFC get sold for? $4 billion.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
huge. I mean, some of us have to work a whole year for that.
You're such a prick. I'm going to make a prediction here. Within the next 4 months, I bet you Chris Eubank will link himself with Conor McGregor.
Well,
I can
he's
see
got
it
to beat
already.
Tommy Langford first, hasn't he?
So, comes on to my next thing. So, Chris Eubank will defend his British title in Cardiff.
On the undercard of Liam Williams against,
Ahmet Patterson.
which is a good fight.
That
by
is
the
a
way.
good fight. So, did you kind of sort of expect that he would just defend his British title
Yeah,
now?
I think bearing in mind everything that's happened, I think that was, kind of like the natural move. But the problem is when you're in a situation where you've called out the number one pound for pound fighter in the world after you've asked me to make the fight, the contract's put in front of you on an opportunity for you to earn multi-millions in a fight on Sky Box Office, and then you end up taking a fight for the British title on an undercard in Cardiff for probably a 20th of what he would have made against Gennady Golovkin. It's difficult to fathom, to be honest with you. And listen, I don't think it's Chris Eubank Jr. I would love 15 minutes with Chris Eubank Jr. I would straighten it all out and him out straight away and spell it out what is going on here. Complete mismanagement. That's the truth of it, in my opinion. Unless the whole thing was for publicity, then I can understand fighting Tommy Langford in Cardiff. But how for a fight you supposedly want so bad, to be there and the kind of millions that he would have for that fight, to go and box for, I think he's getting 150 grand or something, which is, listen, great money for a British title fight, but on an undercard in Cardiff. You're ruining your credibility. And it's really frustrating, because he's an excellent fighter, you know, and I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, again, you know,
have you had any conversations?
No, my dad, after the Kell Brook fight got made, you know, I'm blessed to be involved in the sport of boxing, but it is painful at times, and it's stressful. It is hard work. So you try and eliminate the stressful scenarios out of your life as you can, and that's what I'm trying to do. I don't need the aggravation. You asked me to do something, I did it for you. Okay, you know. And the fact is that when it was there on a plate, you didn't want it. So, you know, I mean, you've got the whole thing, you know, you've got Saunders' situation now, but as if he's going to fight Bradley Saunders, or Billy Joe Saunders, for 800 or 900 grand, when he could have made 5 times that against Golovkin. You know, and now he says, oh, I'll fight him next. It doesn't work like that. You don't just turn around and make a fight, you know, and it's his credibility, not just in terms of taking fights, but his credibility at the negotiating table. You know, Tom Loeffler said to me, look, to be honest with you, I don't really want to deal with the EUBANKs. You know, you see how smoothly the Brook fight's going. This is how people like to work. You know, Frank Warren, I don't really want to, you know, I don't want to deal with him. So who wants to deal with him?
He's kind of dealing with him now.
Listen, people will always deal with you if there's money to be made. But it's just like, it doesn't have to be like this. You know, the platform that he's got, the potential he's got to be a box office fighter, and he's just throwing it all away. It's madness. But like I said, I don't blame Junior. You know, he just does what his dad tells him. But you can't, at some point you have to turn around and you have to say, what the fuck's going on here? What am I doing?
We've noticed as well, a few fights are getting made between Hughes and Queensbury, Burnett and Farag, Matthews and Campbell. It's good.
It is. I mean, look, you know, there's always the perception that, you know, the two sides are at war and all this, and we're competitors, and we're all competitive people. That's the Hearns and the Warrens. You know, we like to win, both of us. So. And that's kind of like the fun of business as well. But, you know, there are times when you come together, and, you know, I had a couple of meetings with Andy Alien, and it's like, you know, we've both got a lot of fighters that need to get out. So what matches make sense? I'm not saying that each other's top fighters are going to cross channels unless the deal is right for everyone. Do you understand what I'm saying? But there's a lot of quality fighters that could fight some of their fighters, and vice versa. You know, so we've done Farag and Burnett, we've done Campbell against Matthews, we're talking also about Tyrone Nurse against Catterall on their show. You know, so I'm easy with it, I really am. But, you know, I think the market has changed so much in world boxing, and, you know, it's a good time for fighters because purses have spiralled out of control.
Did you bid for Langford and Eubank?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah. I bid an amount that I thought it was worth.
So where would you have put that on if you had won that?
I probably would have put that on potentially at the O2 on the Brook Golovkin card.
Yeah.
But again, you know, it's no disrespect to Tommy Langford. I think he's a good young fighter, but it's not, you know, it's not a fight that's going to create a huge amount of interest.
So this week, possibly going to Scotland?
Yeah, we're talking about Thursday. I'm in Hamburg for Cleverly against Bramer, and then Friday I think we're going to do the Scotland press conference with Burns and Relic and Ricky Hatton and his team. Cardle against Hooper, Dillian White, should be fun. Looking to make Willie Limond against O'Hara Davis as well. Good little fight. Charlie Flynn will fight Kofi Yates.
Yeah,
which I think is a great little fight. Find out exactly where they're at.
Friday night.
Friday night, yeah. Scotland are
Scotland.
playing on the Saturday
Yeah.
in the World Cup qualifier. We're there on the Friday, so.
So, yeah, Relic, he's mandatory challenger. Trained by Ricky Hatton.
Yeah, tough fight. I mean, relatively unknown. 21-0, I think, with 19 knockouts. Hatton speaks very, very highly of him. Tough fight for Ricky Burns. We were very close to making the Broner fight, but obviously he's got a few problems. If we beat Relic, we are pretty much agreed to fight Broner in December.
Where?
In America.
Really? Brian was calling out Ricky Burns about 6 years ago.
I know. Funny how things work out, isn't it?
Obviously, your big Liverpool card on the
Massive card.
October 15th.
I mean, we've got Bellew against Flores, Campbell against Matthews, Burnett against Farag, Dodd against Sykes, plus we've got Price and Fielding still to add. Farrell as well in a title fight, loads of young kids. Pack card. In fact, 7 World Championship fights over 5 weeks. Matchroom fighters are involved in it, challenging or defending. Very proud of that.
Get Dave Allen on one of these cards.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Dave Allen. I replied to him on Twitter yesterday and I think he just disappeared off Twitter. Let's have a look. He says it doesn't exist, the account.
Wait, it's just not loaded now.
No, but I don't know what's happened. Because he said, yeah, he said I've pulled out of my fight on Saturday. I've had it with boxing. I went, why have you pulled out? And then can't find his account anymore. Maybe he's having some Twitter downtime. Because he was very active on it, wasn't
He is. I don't know what's happened.
he? Okay, listen, we better get this media lunch underway.
Right, have you got anything else?
No, I think I've covered everything.
Okay. All right. Let's go.